The Witness is a first-person, open-world puzzle game. It's on PC and PS4. It's made by some guy from some studio. And it's like an indie game, you know, it's cheaper. It's actually $40. Most indie games like this would be like $20, but this one's $40, so it's like that almost halfway step. We'll talk about whether or not that's okay in a minute. So I played this on PC, that's why you're not going to get any footage outside of the trailer. But the world's beautiful, it is gorgeous. It's like that kind of stylized, like, kind of... like the rocks look so good. They have like you know, there's lines in them. They're jaggedy edges. There's no curves in this game, I don't think. So it's like a completely smooth texture, but it's broken up into polygons. I love the style. It looks really good on the rocks and it looks really good on the trees. Unfortunately, like the leaves and the grass kind of look like crap though. I'm sure there's a term for it. Somebody said the word half shaded something or the other. Whatever it is, I like it a lot. And the water too. The water looks fantastic. The reflection effect is like perfect. The lighting's fantastic too. Everyone's got like a perfect shadow. I hear it runs in 1080p, 60 frames per second on PS4, so that's good. But unfortunately, the settings on the PC suck. They're terrible. Like like before you even open up the game on Steam, it's like high, medium, low, VSync, full screen. That's it. High is too much for my computer to handle, and I get a stuttery frame rate. And medium looks like crap. It's all blurry. Are you kidding me? You're gonna release a PC game, and we can't even adjust the resolution or the frame rate. That is just nice. And I'm sure you can like go into the freaking netcode and adjust it yourself, but I'm not that well versed in PC hardware, and the average consumer isn't either. You can't expect them to do that. And if you click on the settings button in the game menu, it only lets you change like mouse and movement sensitivity. Like, really? And there is a sprint button, thank the maker. See? Everybody's going to the Rapture? It's not that hard. This seems like the kind of game I do like puzzle games, you know, occasionally. I like a good puzzle game. I like to think I'm smart. The puzzles themselves, they're like little panels. You like press A to access the panel. I played on an Xbox controller. And like, you would like move you into puzzle panel mode and it would give you a little cursor. I think the problem with that is that where you can press A anywhere and it'll open up the panel thing, I feel it should be more kind of clear. Because sometimes you're not sure if something's a puzzle or not. You're like, there's a pattern thing, but I can't like click on it. What? So I feel it should only, you know, go into puzzle mode when you're next to a panel. I feel it shouldn't let you do that anywhere. That kind of bugs me. And the puzzles themselves, they follow the same formula. They take one basic principle, and it's drawing a line from the thing to connect it to the end. But the game does a really good job of adding creative new twists and throwing in new game mechanics. Like there was a thing where it's like they had the puzzle grid, but there weren't any like broken lines, and I'm like, how do I know? And then I noticed that there's like a shadow cast on it from like the tree branches behind me, and it blocks off some of the things. I'm like, and then you do it, and then it goes ding, and I'm like, that's neat. I figured that out. I feel accomplished. And there'll be like one thing like that for one set of puzzles. They're all like connected, and it'll go and a glowy wire will connect you to the next puzzle. So once you figure out the tick behind a set, you can then solve the set okay. And I like that. It's a good combination of the creative thinking, figure out what the thing is, and then applying it to these more bigger and difficult puzzles. But sometimes if you can't solve a puzzle and you do it wrong, it resets you back to the last puzzle and it makes you do that again. That is ass. There's also a bunch of invisible walls everywhere. It's like you feel like you should be able to go there. Like if the game doesn't want to create clear paths of where you can go, because you know it is an open world. If you don't want one puzzle, if you can't figure out a puzzle, you can just wander off and start a new set somewhere else. But there are portions of the map where you're like kind of corralled into one narrow line, and it goes for a far way, and it stops you there at a puzzle, and then you have to go all the way back through if you can't do it. So sometimes it's not very connected as a world. It feels like you're going off on a branch, and then you stop, and then you come back. But the world design itself is good. It's not just like pretty trees and stuff everywhere. There's like houses and structures, and there's like a cliff and stuff, and there's a windmill, and there's an underground portion. This world is the exact opposite of repetitive, and you start using different biomes. It's like a swamp. Fantastic. The world, full marks for the world design. But the biggest problem with that is, other than the fact that it does rely on the perspective of the camera, like where you are in the world to help you solve the puzzles themselves feel very disconnected from the world. I mean, it happens sometimes, but for the most part, it's here's a panel, and here's a beautiful, pretty world that gets you from panel to panel. And what other people have been saying is that if you take away the beautiful world, it's an iOS puzzle game. And that's kind of true. But, you know, there is the pretty world. So you do have that. So it's an iOS puzzle game with a $40 price tag. That's the thing that's holding people up. Is an iOS puzzle game worth $40? No. but it's an iOS puzzle game with a, you know, full budget, like, really well done world. I feel like the world they made had a higher budget behind it than a $20 price tag would allow. So that's why I'm really split up. I see both sides of that, I really do. For me personally, I'd say, no, it's not worth it. Wait till it drops in price. It is a puzzle game through and through. If you do not like puzzle games, you will not like this. Oh, also, there is no music in the world. Nothing. There's some sound effects. I think like a bird chirps and like your footsteps and like stuff will open. Like there's, and then the reviews are like, oh, every sound effect could be a clue to help you solve the puzzles. Everything is strategically placed in this game with masterful strokes of a paintbrush that is the developers. Click point. I don't know. How do they make games? I assume they use some big program and then they like click stuff to make it go in. That's a load of bull honk. And other people find the game boring. I don't find the game boring. I find the game overpriced. Puzzles, 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 puzzles. And you like the puzzles and you play it for the puzzles and that's all it has to offer. Like, there is a reason Portal 2 is so good. Because Portal 2 has a story. Portal 2 has like cinematic style AAA development in it. Portal 2 throws a reason behind the puzzles. And you are rewarded for solving the next puzzle. The Witness is like, if you get through a really tough puzzle, the only reward for doing that is opening up the next area to do more puzzles. Or, you know, the self-accomplishment of solving the puzzle. And again, that's the point of puzzles. If you don't like puzzles, stay far, far away. And then it brings me to the point, why is it called The Witness? So these little recordings, that's the closest you get to a story. You click on them, and then there's like, it's like a real life quote from some other philosopher, but they're all like really just out there, and you're like, okay, is this gonna be one of those, like, we're gonna give you pieces of the thing, and the story is left up to your own interpretation? Is it gonna do that? But like the intro summary of the game on the Steam page is far more fascinating than anything the game gives you. It's like, who am I? Am I a person? It's called The Witness. I'm like, am I witnessing some event? Is there a story behind this island? Why am I being forced to do these puzzles? What is that thing there? How did that ship get crashed in the thing? Why are my shoelaces tied together so I can't move over a 1 brick high wall? But with no music to even create an atmosphere and no backup story to connect the puzzles to the world or throw some interesting spin on why you're in the world, it's a basic puzzle game. I feel no reason to solve every puzzle in the game. I feel no like goal to reach towards. I don't know. Has anyone actually finished every damn puzzle in the whole game? I hear Elder Geek has. It says there's like 600 of them. And he says he got to the end, and it was the most pretentious garbage he's ever seen. If someone else thinks it's pretentious, I'm just gonna hate it. I think if there was a story, I would excuse the $40 price tag and say, okay, so the game world is clearly connected to the puzzles. But it's not. So I'm going to give The Witness a too expensive out of 10.
I'm so broke.
I know. I can't even afford Whole Foods. I have to shop at Trader Joe's.
I think if you know what you're getting into and puzzles is all you want, you'll probably be very satisfied, and I'd say go ahead and pick it up. Maybe wait, again, for it to drop in price. That's what I thought anyway. You could always, you know, listen to IGN. Gave it a 10.